What is up, Panthers Nation? It is Aaron Duncan here, back again with another video brought to you by Unnecessary Bluntness Sports Talk. And training camp is right around the corner, and I can just smell the pigskin, the barbecue at the tailgates, the fresh cut grass, the cold beer, and the hot Krispy Kreme donuts after a Carolina Panthers victory on Sundays. Man, I'm getting all the feels, and the nostalgia is coming back to me, man. I'm ready for this football season. I'm super excited. And with training camp, you guys already know what that means. It's time to build this team up for this year. There's going to be a lot of guys coming in, but it's up to Coach Rhule and Scott Fitterer to narrow this team down to 53 to get ready for game day. And so as they look at the roster, I'm going to do it myself. I've been doing a whole series evaluating position by position how this training camp roster looks. And so I want you guys to make sure you are subscribed. That way you don't miss any of these videos, because if you're a new viewer, this is what I do. I do Panthers videos, breakdowns, analysis, live streams. Podcasts will be coming soon during the season. So make sure you guys are subscribed and hit the bell icon. That way you get notification every time I drop a video. However, if this is your first video you've seen in the series, I'll be sure to link the rest of the playlist up top or down below too. But one more thing. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up too, please, because it really helps my video out in the algorithm. It helps get the word out to more Panthers fans. That way we can all come together and engage and talk about all the stuff that's going on with the team from training camp throughout the season. So let's go ahead and get into this video. So the way I structure these videos is I talk about what's new, what's old, and what to expect. And so make sure you guys watch all the way to the end to see what I expect from this team and see how it aligns with how you feel and what you expect. And let me know what your expectations are for the running back position down below in the comments after you hear what I have to say. So what's new with this running back position? Obviously, we drafted a lot of people think could be the steal of the draft, Coach Matt Rhule's wife's favorite, Chuba Hubbard, the Big 12 sensation, who kind of had a down last year of college, but he was very productive the years before, obviously. So a lot of people expect him to step into that backup position, especially with Mike Davis leaving. However, as a rookie, who knows? Because there's a lot of guys that's been on this roster before that's contributed. We expect only to keep maybe 3, possibly 4 running backs that can maybe contribute when it comes to special teams too. And Chuba can return kicks. Trent Cannon, he can return kicks. Rodney Smith got a lot of playing time last year, giving a break to Mike Davis because Mike Davis was beat up at times during certain games. So we have a lot of guys who have some experience that's going to be battling out with Chuba Hubbard. So that number 2 running back position competition is going to be something fierce. Obviously, with TMC being the man and being back, that's new. We're not used to him missing that much time. So we'll see how he recovers over this offseason. And he looks to be pretty good. So that's going to be a new situation for the Carolina Panthers. But I expect them to hopefully, I don't say I expect them, I hope that they start engaging some of these other backup running backs, because they've been kind of stubborn about keeping Christian McCaffrey in the game and possibly overusing him. They've invested a lot of money in him, so let's use these backup running backs to protect our investment. And I think they're fully capable, especially a guy like Chuba. He's a home run hitter. We've seen him be very productive at Oklahoma State. If you haven't seen him, go check him out. Google his YouTube highlights. This guy is a monster. And we know how easy sometimes it is for younger running backs to translate to the NFL. We've seen young rookie running backs come in and be effective. They just have to give Chuba some opportunity. So I'll be very excited to see what Chuba does. Preferably, everybody stays healthy in this position group. Hopefully, everybody can contribute because, like I said, unless you're contributing on special teams, you may be on the outside looking in. I obviously don't think Chuba will be cut, but he could possibly end up on the practice squad if he's not able to produce in other ways around this team and can't contribute fully when it comes to the running back position. So I'm happy to see that we got somebody in there, but we just have to use these new guys that are in there. And this group as a whole is going to be interesting to see how everything shakes out as the competition flares on and we get into training camp and preseason. What's old with this team? Obviously, Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey, he's going into his 5th season, so it's hard to call him old, but this is the guy we want him to come back to be that same productive guy that he once was. And I want him to go back to the old Christian McCaffrey. However, I think they can figure some things out because Joe Brady didn't really get to utilize Christian McCaffrey for the full season. He only played a handful of games. So it'll be interesting to see how Joe Brady uses him in different ways compared to a guy like North Turner, where Christian McCaffrey had a very productive season, being a 1,000 yard back or 100 reception back. And so I hope that Christian McCaffrey can really be a safety blanket for Sam Darnold. So that way, instead of making bonehead mistakes and doing stupid stuff like he did in New York, he'll just shake the ball down to Christian McCaffrey. What's also old is the guy that people sleep on and keep forgetting about is Reggie Bonifant. Reggie Bonifant was injured last year too. the guy that was once a former college quarterback, was replaced by Lamar Jackson, obviously converted positions. But in the times and the opportunities he has had, he's been able to make some plays and do his thing every so often. He doesn't really have a ton of moves, and he's not a home run hitter, but we've seen him break a long run. He has decent speed in the open field, and he can get the job done to give Christian McCaffrey a break every so often. So I expect Reggie Bonifant to have some say-so when it comes to this backup running back competition with him, Chuba, Rodney Smith, and Trenton Cannon. We'll see. I mean, their running back room is looking real full and real healthy. So it's going to be interesting to see how this competition shakes out and how it brings out the best in some of these guys. So I'm really anxious to see how some of these guys like Reggie Bonifant returning from injury and Christian McCaffrey returning, can they get back to their old ways? Do they keep doing the same old Panther stuff and only giving the ball to Christian McCaffrey? I hope not. But my gut feeling tells me that Christian McCaffrey will be the same productive guy that we've known and expected him to be and be available, because him being hurt was pretty much out of character for him. He's not used to missing that many games. Up until this past season, he hasn't missed many games in his whole football career, even going back to high school. So he'll be itching and hungry to get back to his ways and prove that he is that top running back in the league. A lot of people are talking about Derrick Henry being the king and stuff. I get it. This guy's huge. He's ran for 2,000 yards, something like that. But Christian McCaffrey is the most versatile weapon at the running back position in the NFL, bar none. Maybe even in history, if you want to argue between him and Marshall Faulk. Another video for another day. Nevertheless, I expect Christian to get back to his old ways. I expect Bonifant to be healthy and contribute and get the ball a little bit more. And I expect Chuba Hubbard to push him for that number 2 running back position. So we'll see what happens. So I expect them to get back to the old ways, and I want to fully see what Joe Brady can do with this star running back into the lineup, because I want to see some more involvement with Christian in the pass game, whether it's splitting him out at wide receiver. That way you can get him the ball in open field without having to pound him up the middle through the tackles and him taking a beating. So I want to see Christian get back to his old ways, and hopefully he can. Hopefully he'll be the feature of this offense. That way we can build around him with the other weapons we have on the outside, and we can start this running game and be balanced. And that way we take plenty of pressure off Sam Darnold. That way he doesn't have to do too much, and he can just kind of keep the car in between the white lines and don't swerve off the road. You know what I'm saying? Don't crash the vehicle, because we have a lot of weapons. And I like to call this offensive Ferrari, because the amount of weapons we have, it's a nice little amount of toys we have out here. We just got to keep the running game and keep the balance involved. And that's going to go back to the start with Christian McCaffrey and helping take that pressure off of Sam Darnold. So what to expect? I'm going to reiterate it. I expect Christian to get back to his old ways. But I also expect for the coaching staff to wise up and take some pressure off him. Chuba Hubbard is very capable. I expect to see more Christian McCaffrey involved at wide receiver and putting Chuba back in the backfield. I expect to see maybe 2 running backs at times, because we got rid of Alex Armour and we're kind of in no man's land when it comes to what we're going to do as far as a fullback. Of course, we'll find that out during training camp, but I fully expect them to do more 2 running back sets, more time with Christian McCaffrey out at wide receiver, because we saw Joe Brady do that with Clyde Edwards-Helaire at LSU, splitting out wide. But Christian McCaffrey is route running so good, he can play the slot, especially if he's matched up against a linebacker. You can really have him run the full route tree. So I fully expect them to expand on his skill set in that way, because there's so much they haven't got to do with Christian McCaffrey yet, because of the amount of injuries he suffered in Joe Brady's first year, as the offensive coordinator. And as he starts to get more experience and learn how to use Christian in better ways, I expect Christian to be more productive and more efficient. That way he doesn't have to take the pounding that he usually does. Chuba, I would love for him to come on and make a big splash on special teams also. That way he can secure the bag and be that roster spot, that number 2 bona fide running back. And that's what I expect. And I think everybody's hoping and expecting that too. But Rodney Smith and Trent Cannon's not going to go out quietly, because, like I said, they have some experience playing last year and spelling Mike Davis at times when helping out when Christian McCaffrey is out. So that competition is going to be fierce, but I fully expect Chuba to be able to step up and take advantage. Like I said, I want him to stay healthy, but I fully expect him to be the guy that he once was at Oklahoma State. Obviously, he's not going to give as many carries because of Christian McCaffrey, but I think when he gets the opportunity, he can be somebody with fresh legs. There's no reason for Christian McCaffrey to play 90-something% of the plays when you have a guy like Bonifant and you bring in a guy like Chuba Hubbard. So, like I said, we're probably only going to keep 3 or 4 guys, and it's going to be tough for guys like Rodney Smith and Trent Cannon on the back end of that roster to make this team. So we will see what happens. But you guys let me know down below in the comments, what do you expect from this group? What kind of production do you expect? Do you expect Chuba to be the bona fide number 2 running back? Do you expect them to share the load a little bit more? Do you expect them to use Christian McCaffrey in different ways? There's a lot of questions. What do you expect? Let me know down below in the comments. However, without further ado, I'm Aaron Duncan signing off. I'll see you next time. Peace.